Welcome back, everybody. Abyss 1232 here. Got my SPO1 Tactical. That is the decocker model. Haven't seen a disassembly of this particular version or model yet, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt to get that on camera for you guys. Something you're going to need is your hammer, nylon and hard, or just a solid hammer. Possibly might be able to get through it. Got your 3 30-second punch. Grab a large size and a small size flat screwdriver. Needle nose pliers might help. Something to brace the gun when you're punching out all your pins. That's what I'm using. This is going to be, again, like I said, the beginning of this project for me. But hopefully there's a couple tips in here to help everybody out if it's your first time. Or maybe you guys can share a couple tips with me, since I'm not that much of an expert myself. But earlier videos I went ahead and installed the fiber optic front, competition rear from Cajun Gunworks. As you'll see inside, I already have the 11-pound spring. Something that I'm going to be doing is changing out the hammer spring, reduced trigger return spring. Going to be changing out the firing pin, extended firing pin, along with the spring, firing pin, retaining pin. Gonna have a new Type 2 disconnector from Cajun Gunworks, but that's just pretty much the majority of what I'm going to be doing to this gun, and I'll get a baseline of what the trigger pull is and how it compares to what I end up with. But I think I started out with it about 11 to 12 pound double action and actually a pretty solid 5 pound single action. But let's go ahead and begin this process. So field strip, everybody knows how to do that, hopefully. Let's go ahead and keep all that. You're going to want to have a rag handy, because when you take this apart, even if you have it oiled, you're going to be wiping a bunch of debris out. Again, I got that stainless steel guide rod from Cajun Gunworks, that 11 pound from a previous video. Went ahead and polished my rails, hammer contact points right here, so you can see that ledge, nice and shiny, smooth, minus the dirt from the oil. But I'm going to hit that back up with some sandpaper, that ledge right there, to work that out, get a little bit smoother than what I have it now. But started out, looked pretty good. And again, just get the oil off there. You can see how shiny, and if you were able to touch it, you would see how smooth that is. So that's that. Start out with your simple stuff here. Get the grips off. Again, I'll be changing out the grips on this later on. That to a side. That to the side. Now we're pretty much left with the pins. So let's start out with the bottom here. Gonna go ahead and push down on your lanyard. Let's get the hammer all the way down. Push down on your lanyard. Push the pin through. Gonna want to take out your slide. That will bring your hammer retaining pin out, hammer retaining, hammer spring. You can see your strut right there. And again, I just leave this loose for right now. You can, if you want, punch out that pin. I'm not going to at this moment in time. So I'm going to work on the frame now. You're going to want to cover your gun. I know some people that might cover their gun with masking tape, but that's just more of a step that I don't care to do, but because you will probably make contact with the gun. So go ahead and cover it up, maybe a nice cloth right there, something kind of sturdy. And if you can see it, what you have here is a slight indent on the right side, right there. How well you can see that shit, but right there, I don't know if you can see that. On the right hand side you'll see that spring, and there will be a lever. That is what holds in the right hand side. So go ahead and stick a flathead right there. There's that little lever. There we go, finally focus. Apologize about that. Right there you got that lever. Got oil everywhere on this bad boy. I keep my guns pretty well oiled, just because I keep them pretty dirty too. So go ahead and stick that in there. That's going to release the tension on the spring. And what you're going to want to do is just maybe get the small one. That's why I said to get 2 of these, so let's just use the small one. This is going to be an unedited video, so God, I hope this doesn't go too long. Go ahead and push that in. Okay, that will remove the right hand side decocker lever, and then, okay, thought I marred it, but just oil. Got a lot of oil on this gun, but that will remove the right hand side of your decocking spring, or decocking lever, and shouldn't, keeps you from marring your gun if you're using it as leverage there. But let's see, all you're gonna do here is take that same flathead, and hopefully you can get contact with this spring to pull it up, hold it, and push the other side. And then once you get it out, you can let go of the pressure there, and this left hand side of your lever will come out. Again, wipe down areas while I remove them. You're gonna see a lot of, if you've never disassembled your gun before, you're gonna get a lot of crud coming out of there. Nothing wrong with that. Just means you use your gun. Next step is gonna be the pin that sear holds the sear. Not sure how well you can see that. This pin is staked. So this pin is a pain in the ass to get out. You will need something very sturdy to brace your gun, and something very solid to knock out that pin. So if your 3/32 punch is not strong, then you're probably going to break it. So, just to show you guys, I did break one of my pins. I had to get a replacement. So again, be prepared to possibly break this if you don't have a strong enough hammer. This is kind of a weak hammer, so it didn't give me enough leverage to get that out. There's two ways to go about this, guys. What I went ahead and did ahead of time was got a Cajun Gunworks installation kit for decockers, and that's what this is going to give you. It's going to give you a starter punch, which you're going to want to use that to knock that sucker out. And this is a lot sturdier than a pin punch. And what also comes in this kit is a slave pin, so that if you choose to just do the hammer work, don't care to take apart your sear assembly, then you can push this slave pin in through here to hold your assembly together, and then change out your hammer, your springs, your trigger spring, and do all the polishing work that I'm going to be showing you that I'm going to do. But I did it the hard way the first time, and this pin actually didn't fit, so I went ahead and just took everything apart. But I since dremeled this down, and it should go through now, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. But if you don't have this slave pin, or don't make one, that's okay. Just go ahead and punch this pin out, and everything will come apart. But you want to be careful, because there's a couple springs in here. They will pop out on you, so just be prepared for that. I keep my hand on this side, so that way if something should fly out, I'm gonna catch it in my hand. But just a warning, the slave pin doesn't, like I said, the slave pin from Cajun Gunworks didn't fit in my gun. I'm not sure about anybody else's, but I had to trim it down to where it actually fit to size. There is a piece of paper in the instructions that says the measurements that this slave pin needs to be, and maybe I just didn't read it because I don't read directions. But you can see that pin coming out on the other side. Maybe it said I had to do it, and I never did it. As far as trimming down that slave pin, and then like I said, I had one heck of a time trying to figure out what the hell to do after that. But as you can see, it's coming out the other side here, and I'm just gonna pull it out. But I know it looked really easy when I just did it, guys. It is not gonna be that easy at all. At all. This is probably second time I've done this, so I learned from my first time, and I decided I would use this slave pin, and hopefully I can get that to go through. But let me put you on pause so this video doesn't go too long. I will get this slave pin in here. Okay, so I got that slave pin in, and all I do now is pull out your assembly, and as you can see, everything is still intact with the slave pin holding it in place. Okay, again, it's very oily or possibly dirty, so just wipe down parts as necessary. But we put that aside for now. Again, if you choose to do it the other way, you will have your entire sear assembly apart, and I'm going to be doing that later on in a different video, part of the reassembly video. But you can see here now we have our hammer disconnector, and we will be removing our trigger spring, our trigger pin. But you can see right here that we can now take out this hammer. So go ahead and lift the disconnector. Going to take it upside down and hopefully get the pin out. It's alright. It's going to be the pin on the left hand side. You can just push it up through. And now you can push your hammer retaining pin out, from the right hand side to the left. It's the only way you can do it. As you can see, it's thicker, it's hammered, or it's gapped, or whatever you want to call it, but it's larger on the left hand side, so you can only push it out one way. Again, clean off your parts. Now's a great time to get some deep cleaning in on this gun. So go ahead and clean that off, put that aside, and you can now remove your hammer, strut, and disconnector. Again, wipe this down. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but these pins connected to the disconnector and the strut are staked as well. So these pins will be another big pain in the ass for you first timers, but no big deal. Do be careful with that pin. I chose to leave it in, but it possibly might fall out, so just be careful with that. I'm going to push it back in just so it stays in place and I don't lose it, so that I leave in. And next up is your trigger pin. Go ahead and get your brace, put over here, and again I'm going to put you guys on pause so that I can knock out that pin. Okay, so once you get your trigger pin out to the side here, I want to show you guys something else. Again, this is just an option. Went ahead and got me a Cajun Gunworks part number trigger pin, floating trigger pin, and what comes inside is a new trigger pin, which I highly recommend if you're going to be removing your old one, because it looks like it's going to go to shit. But a very nice trigger pin. And also what comes in it is a small slave pin. Again, you don't need it, but I already had and started it so that I can push through my trigger pin. And once you get it through, I tried it with needle nose pliers, but I'm going to try it with regular pliers now. And you just pull out the rest of it, and that's going to be garbage, but you should have your trigger pin, slave pin in there. And all you got to do is pull out your trigger. Oops, sorry, I had to pause just for a second, but sorry, what you're going to do is go ahead and pull your trigger bar through the frame, and as you can see, it is very dirty. Again, I have this slave pin from Cajun Gunworks which kept my spring in place. Otherwise, this bad boy will shoot out on you. I promise you. This trigger return spring is under decent amount of pressure. It will shoot out you. But I have this slave pin in, so it kept my assembly intact. And then for those of you who will be following me during my polish video, I'm just going to go ahead and remove my trigger. Shouldn't need any pressure to push that pin through. It's going to be holding your trigger into your assembly. So now I can work on this trigger trigger bracket. You can see it's really greased up, so that's okay, no problem. Next step, let me wash my hands real quick. Okay, sorry, I got back. So went ahead and did is go ahead and spray this down with some gun cleaner. Go ahead and clean your trigger bar and your parts off. because you're going to want those pretty clean once we start polishing here. Go ahead and hit the inside of this up as well. Start cleaning off what you need to in there, because let's see what's next. We got your retaining pin. I'm going to switch over to the large flathead because this is under a decent amount of pressure as well. Go ahead, it's not going to fit. So use one that fits very snug, because otherwise you're gonna strip it, and that's not gonna be a pretty sight. So go ahead and take your retaining pin out. We'll do that off camera real quick. Well, I'm having some troubles getting that screw out, but we're going to work on that a little bit later. What we're going to do is work on the top half now. Slide. Again, we're going to need your punch. What we're going to do here is get that pin out. Oops. So you're going to take your 3/32. Go ahead and punch that out. What you're going to see is that when that comes out, your firing pin will shoot out. Going to hit your firing pin block to pull it the rest of the way out. So that's your firing pin. It's going to be your fire pin block, and out with your block will come a spring, firing pin block spring. Go ahead and put that all aside. Move this down some. And what you should get is a spring out of the inside. This is your firing pin spring, and that should be on there just like that. But one thing I'm not going to do is mess with the extractor and the extractor spring, but if you should so want to do that yourself, that's fairly easy as well. All you're going to do is knock out your pin. I don't know if you can see that. There's a pin right there that connects to that. That will be holding in your extractor and your extractor spring. But that's something that I don't feel like I need to do as far as performance wise. I don't have any extraction issues, so I'm going to leave that alone. But now's a good time to take a Q-tip and go ahead and clean the inside and get all the gunk out of there. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is start my polishing and my upgrades with my Cajun Gunworks parts. So stay tuned. I will be showing you what to polish and where to polish on these parts. Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys. That's the disassembly. Stay tuned for the reassembly, and like I said, all the upgrades that I'm going to be doing with the polishing included. Okay.